stop what you're doing for just a moment, because what you're about to hear may speak directly to a part of you that has been quietly waiting for this very moment. Have you ever felt someone enter your thoughts without warning? Have you ever sensed an unexplainable pull toward a person even when time, distance, or silence stood between you? What if those moments are not random at all? What if they are inviting you to pay attention to something much deeper than coincidence? Many people spend years searching for signs in the outside world, believing that love begins when another person reaches out. But what if the greatest message has been unfolding within you all along? What if the restlessness you have been feeling, the dreams you cannot ignore, the emotions that suddenly rise without explanation, and the changes taking place inside your true heart are preparing you for one of the most important chapters of your life? Today's message is not about fantasy or false promises. It is about understanding the quiet transformation that happens before meaningful connections can truly flourish. It is about discovering why certain people leave a permanent mark on your soul, why timing often feels mysterious, and why your greatest breakthrough begins within. So stay with me until the very end, because what you're about to discover may completely change the way you see yourself, your journey, and the connection you have been waiting for. There comes a moment in life that cannot be explained by logic alone. It arrives quietly, often without warning. Yet, it changes everything. You may suddenly find yourself thinking about one particular person for no apparent reason. Their presence enters your mind repeatedly. Even when you are busy with everyday responsibilities, you tell yourself it is only imagination. Yet, the feeling refuses to disappear. This is because not every call in life comes through words. Some arrive through the deepest parts of your inner world, where the soul recognizes what the conscious mind has not yet understood. Before two people are truly ready to meet or reconnect, something much greater begins to awaken within. The outer journey is always preceded by an inner transformation. The heart begins to ask questions it has avoided for years, and the soul starts searching for answers that cannot be found in the outside world. Many people spend their lives waiting for someone else to change first. They believe happiness will arrive when the right person appears, sends a message, or finally admits their feelings. Yet, real transformation begins long before any reunion takes place. It starts in silence when you begin confronting your own fears, insecurities, old disappointments, and hidden desires. The loneliness you once resisted becomes a teacher instead of an enemy. The challenges that once seemed like punishment slowly reveal themselves as preparation. Every disappointment strips away an illusion. Every setback teaches patience. Every unanswered question pushes you deeper into understanding yourself. What once felt like emptiness gradually becomes a sacred space where your true identity begins to emerge. This inner awakening is rarely comfortable. It asks you to release old versions of yourself that can no longer support the future you are meant to experience. You begin noticing patterns that have repeated throughout your relationships. You recognize the fear of abandonment, the need for approval, the habit of chasing people who cannot meet you emotionally, or the tendency to hide your authentic self to avoid rejection. These realizations are not meant to create guilt. They are invitations to grow. Each moment of awareness weakens the grip of unconscious habits and strengthens your ability to choose differently. Slowly, your heart becomes lighter because it is no longer carrying burdens that were never truly yours. As this inner shift continues, your energy naturally changes. You become less interested in forcing outcomes and more willing to trust the unfolding of your life. Instead of seeking constant validation, you discover a quiet confidence that comes from within. You stop measuring your worth by another person's attention because you begin recognizing the value that has always existed inside you. Ironically, it is often at this stage when you no longer feel desperate to hold on that genuine connection becomes possible. A relationship built on inner wholeness is far stronger than one built on fear or emotional dependency. The call you have been feeling is not simply urging you toward another person. It is inviting you to become the version of yourself who is capable of receiving and sustaining the love you have always desired. There are people who enter your life and leave pleasant memories. And then there are those whose presence seems to awaken something you never knew existed. They do not simply make you feel loved or understood. They hold up a mirror to parts of yourself that have remained hidden for years. Sometimes this reflection is beautiful, revealing strengths, compassion, courage, and dreams you had forgotten. At other times, it is deeply uncomfortable exposing fears, emotional wounds, insecurities, and patterns you have tried to ignore. This is why certain connections feel so intense from the very beginning. They are not only about affection or attraction, they become an invitation to discover who you truly are beneath the masks you have learned to wear.
Many people believe they meet someone special only to experience romance.
But profound relationships often serve a much deeper purpose. They reveal the truth about your inner world. If you carry the fear of rejection, that fear may surface more strongly than ever. If you struggle to trust others, every moment of uncertainty may feel overwhelming. If you have spent years believing you are not enough, the relationship may expose that belief in ways you never expected. This is not because the other person is creating these feelings. They are simply reflecting what has already been living within you. Just as a clear mirror does not create your image but faithfully shows it, meaningful connections reveal emotional realities that were already present beneath the surface. This reflection can be difficult to accept because the mind naturally prefers comfort over change. It is easier to blame another person than to examine the hidden beliefs influencing your actions. Yet, every emotional trigger carries valuable information. It points toward an area of your life that is asking for healing. The jealousy you feel may reveal a fear of being replaced. The anger may uncover long-forgotten disappointment. The anxiety may expose an old wound left by someone who failed to protect your heart. Once these emotions are recognized instead of avoided, they begin to lose their power over you. Awareness transforms unconscious reactions into conscious choices. The mirror also reflects qualities you may not yet recognize in yourself. You might admire someone's confidence because your own confidence is waiting to emerge. You may be inspired by another person's kindness because your own heart carries the same capacity for compassion. Sometimes the traits you admire most in another person are quiet reminders of the potential already living within you. Instead of seeing them as something you lack, you begin to understand them as possibilities that have not yet fully awakened. This realization changes the way you experience relationships. Rather than depending on another person to complete you, you begin discovering forgotten parts of yourself through the connection. As this understanding deepens, the relationship becomes less about possession and more about transformation. Every conversation, every period of distance, every misunderstanding, and every joyful reunion becomes an opportunity to understand yourself more clearly. The connection no longer revolves around controlling outcomes or seeking constant reassurance. Instead, it becomes a path toward greater emotional honesty, self-awareness, and personal growth. The greatest gift such a bond can offer is not merely the promise of lasting companionship, but the courage to meet the most authentic version of yourself, free from illusion, fear, and the limitations that once kept your heart hidden. One of the greatest struggles people experience is the desire to control the timing of their growths. When the heart longs for someone deeply every day, can feel like a question waiting for an answer. You wonder why they have not returned, why they remain silent, or why the connection seems delayed despite the intensity of your feelings. The mind searches for explanations, trying to force certainty where none exists. Yet some of life's most meaningful experiences cannot be rushed by determination alone. There is a rhythm unfolding beneath the surface that often remains invisible until the right moment arrives. What feels like a delay is not always an obstacle. Sometimes it is a period of preparation, allowing both individuals to become emotionally and spiritually capable of sustaining the connection they desire. Growth rarely happens at the same pace for two people. One person may awaken to their emotions quickly, while the other is still carrying fears they have not yet recognized. One may be learning to trust after years of disappointment, while the other is discovering how to let go of pride, resentment, or emotional distance. If these journeys were forced to intersect before either person was ready, the relationship could collapse under the weight of unresolved pain. This is why patience becomes more than waiting. It becomes an act of wisdom. It allows life to shape each person through experiences that cannot be replaced by shortcuts or wishes. Many people mistake silence for rejection and distance for the end of the story. They assume that if something meaningful has not happened yet, it never will. But silence often carries lessons that words cannot teach. It reveals where attachment has become stronger than trust. It exposes the difference between genuine love and the fear of losing control. During these quiet seasons, you begin noticing how much of your emotional energy has depended upon external validation. Slowly, you are invited to redirect that energy inward, building confidence, peace, and emotional stability that no one else can give or take away. There is also a profound difference between forcing an opportunity and allowing it to unfold naturally. When fear is leading your decisions, you may feel compelled to send another message, seek another explanation, or chase another sign that the connection still exists. Yet actions driven by anxiety rarely create lasting peace. They often reinforce the very insecurity you hope to escape. When you learn to act from clarity instead of desperation, your decisions become calmer, wiser, and more aligned with who you are becoming. You no longer measure every passing day as proof that something is missing. Instead, you recognize that meaningful transformation is often taking place where your eyes cannot yet see it. Trusting the unfolding of life does not mean becoming passive or abandoning your hopes. It means understanding that lasting relationships require more than powerful emotions. They require maturity, honesty, resilience, forgiveness, and the willingness to meet one another without the heavy burdens of unresolved pain. Every challenge, every unexpected delay, and every season of uncertainty has the potential to strengthen these qualities if you allow it. Instead of asking why everything has not happened yet, you begin asking what this moment is teaching you. In that shift, waiting loses its feeling of emptiness and becomes a quiet season of preparation where your heart learns the patience, wisdom, and inner strength needed to embrace love when the moment is truly ready. Life often speaks in ways that are easy to overlook, because we are taught to trust only what can be seen, measured, or explained. Yet, there are moments when ordinary experiences begin to carry an unusual sense of meaning. A person's name appears repeatedly in unexpected places. A song reminds you of them at exactly the right moment. You wake from a dream that feels more vivid than reality, leaving behind emotions that remain with you throughout the day. Certain memories return with remarkable clarity even after months or years of silence. These experiences may seem like coincidences at first, but what truly matters is not whether they predict the future. What matters is that they draw your attention inward, encouraging you to explore emotions and truths you may have ignored for a long time. The human mind has a remarkable ability to recognize patterns, especially when something holds deep emotional significance. When someone has touched your life in a profound way, your awareness naturally becomes more sensitive to reminders connected with them. Instead of dismissing these moments immediately, it can be valuable to pause and ask what they are revealing about your own inner world. Perhaps they are reminding you of an unfinished conversation, a lesson you have yet to understand, or a part of yourself that still longs for healing. The importance of these moments lies not in proving that destiny is sending secret messages, but in recognizing that your inner life is asking for your attention. Dreams often play a unique role in this process because they speak through symbols rather than direct explanations. During sleep, the conscious mind relaxes its constant need to analyze and control every experience. Emotions, memories, and hidden thoughts can emerge in forms that feel mysterious yet deeply personal. You may dream of walking beside someone you have not seen in years, receiving a letter crossing a bridge, or standing before a closed door that suddenly opens. These images are not necessarily predictions of external events. More often, they reflect the movement taking place within your own heart. They reveal hopes, fears, unresolved emotions, or the quiet desire to become whole. By reflecting on these dreams with honesty instead of fear, you gain insight into the emotional journey unfolding inside you. Another sign that deserves attention is the unexpected shift in your emotional landscape. You may suddenly feel a sense of peace after carrying sadness for a long time, or experience a deep urge to forgive someone without knowing exactly why. You might notice that old resentment begins to fade, replaced by compassion and understanding. These changes often happen gradually, almost unnoticed, until one day you realize you are no longer reacting to life in the same way. Such moments are powerful because they indicate that your inner world is transforming. The greatest signs are not always dramatic events happening around you. They are the quiet changes taking place within your character, your perspective, and your emotional strength. When these meaningful moments appear, the wisest response is neither blind belief nor immediate rejection. It is thoughtful awareness. Instead of becoming consumed by searching for hidden messages in every coincidence, allow these experiences to inspire deeper self-reflection. Ask yourself what they awaken within you, what fears they expose, what hopes they revive, and what truths they encourage you to face. The most meaningful signs are those that gently guide you toward greater clarity, emotional honesty, and a stronger connection with your own inner life, helping you recognize that every meaningful journey begins with understanding yourself before seeking answers anywhere else. There comes a moment in every meaningful journey when the heart stands at a crossroads. One path is familiar, shaped by fear, doubt, hesitation, and the comfort of staying exactly where you are. The other path is uncertain, asking you to trust what cannot yet be fully seen. This is the moment when courage becomes more important than certainty. Many people wait for fear to disappear before they take a step forward. But fear rarely leaves on its own. It grows stronger when ignored, and weaker when faced with honesty. Answering the deeper call of your life does not require the absence of fear. It requires the willingness to move with wisdom despite it. Every meaningful relationship, every personal transformation, and every significant change begins with a decision to stop allowing fear to control the direction of your life. Fear often disguises itself as logic. It convinces you that protecting your heart means never being vulnerable, that staying emotionally distant is safer than risking disappointment, or that avoiding difficult conversations will somehow prevent pain. At first, these strategies may seem wise because they promise temporary comfort. Yet over time, they quietly build invisible walls around your heart. Those walls not only keep pain from entering, they also prevent genuine love, trust, and connection from reaching you. The more these walls grow, the more isolated you become, even while surrounded by people. True courage is not tearing down every wall overnight. It is recognizing which walls no longer protect you and gently choosing to let them fall one honest step at a time. Trust is another essential part of this journey, but it is often misunderstood. Many believe trust means believing another person will never hurt you. In reality, trust begins within yourself. It is the confidence that no matter what happens, you have the strength, wisdom, and resilience to face it. When you trust yourself, you no longer cling desperately to outcomes or try to control every situation. You stop measuring your worth by another person's actions because your value is no longer dependent on their approval. This inner confidence creates emotional stability, allowing you to approach relationships with openness instead of constant anxiety. Love becomes a choice rooted in freedom rather than a need driven by fear. Emotional maturity also plays a vital role in answering life's deeper call. It means taking responsibility for your reactions instead of blaming others for every uncomfortable feeling. It means listening before judging, understanding before defending, and reflecting before reacting. Emotional maturity allows you to recognize when old wounds are influencing present experiences. Instead of repeating familiar patterns, you begin making conscious decisions that reflect the person you are becoming rather than the pain you once carried. This shift changes every interaction because your responses are no longer controlled by unresolved fears, but guided by awareness and intention. As courage, trust, and emotional growth become part of your daily life, your perspective begins to change in subtle yet powerful ways. You stop chasing what constantly runs away and start appreciating what naturally aligns with your values. You become more patient with uncertainty because you understand that not every answer arrives immediately. Challenges no longer appear as signs that you are on the wrong path, but as opportunities to strengthen your character. Every experience, whether joyful or difficult, becomes another step in your evolution. The call you're answering is not simply leading you toward another person. It is guiding you toward becoming someone who lives with authenticity, compassion, resilience, and quiet confidence, prepared to embrace love with an open heart instead of a fearful one. As we come to the end of this message, remember that the most meaningful journey is not only about finding the right person. It is about becoming the person you were always meant to be. Every challenge, every season of waiting, every unanswered question, and every emotional breakthrough has been shaping you in ways you may not fully see yet. The connection you seek begins with the relationship you build with yourself. When you choose self-awareness over fear, growth over comfort, and trust over doubt, you create the foundation for deeper, healthier, and more authentic love. If this message found you today, perhaps it is not by accident. Perhaps it arrived as a gentle reminder to stop doubting your worth, to listen to the quiet wisdom within, and to believe that every meaningful step you take toward healing is also a step toward the life you are meant to live. Stay patient with your journey. Remain open to transformation and never underestimate the power of inner change. Thank you for spending these moments with me. I truly hope this message brought you clarity, hope, and encouragement. If it resonated with your heart, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it.